Let's do it live. Let's do it live. Fuck it. Let's do it live. Let's do it live. Fuck it. We got the car wash today.
Yeah, finally.
And Daniel didn't want to get into the car wash with me and Jack.
Because apparently it's very, it's actually you should not be in the car wash while his car is washing. I always have the fear.
Well, you can't jump out of the car after you've parked it in the car wash. You get trapped in the car wash and then you'll get zumped up. And
I always have this feeling that the sprinklers, they go along the car, and what if they just go straight? Don't go up. And I'm always thinking of a scenario. I tried a few times to duck in if I'm able to hide below them, so I'm safe. When I was small, I used to go to the forest by myself. So I would be just like 7, walking in the forest near my grandfather, and I had this fear of not oxes, but what is wild boars.
Yeah, wild boars. And I never knew when they're gonna show up. They never did, but I used to from time to time climb the tree to find out if I'm able to escape them. Okay, that's a nice story. Hannah, as a child, prepping herself for the possibility of being attacked. Oh, that's so loud, Jack. Okay, that's a wild boar attacking Hannah.
There's a song in Poland about wild boar attacks.
Wild boars! Almost find you. Wild boars. That's Duran Duran. It's a joke. Wild boys.
Oh, yeah. I didn't get it. I'm sorry. My head was somewhere else.
It's funny. A pig is used as a term of derision. You're a pig.
Yeah. But pigs supposed to be very
I wonder, do
clever.
pigs say to each other, "You fucking human"?
Yeah. Oh, well, people used to have pets as pigs as pets.
Yeah, there was a phase there where people had pot-bellied pigs.
And now they're eating them. Like my father's favorite food is pot-belly something. Yes. Are you bullying me?
Speaking of childhood, me, Jack, and Daniel visited their grandmother, my mother, and I was just talking about childhood because I like talking about childhood to Mom. She's getting a bit of the dementia, but she's doing well, and she was so good to us growing up, the children, so loving, provided us with incredible support and a foundation, which kind of puts a halo around you as you go into adult life and kind of protects you, gives you values, survival instincts and all that kind of stuff. She infused that in us. But, and excuse me if I wax lyrical, but I kind of got emotional talking to Mom about, those sort of lazy, summery childhoods in the 70s, and you'd be a kid and you'd be in the back of her Renault 4L. She drove a Renault 4L for a while. Renault, it's like a small little car, but to us it was very big, and it was a kind of hatchback, and the back door opened, and we'd be going down to British Bay.
Seat belts or not?
No seat belts. British Bay, and then there'd be just sand on the the car would be hot in the sand, and just the excitement and the smell of sunscreen, and just the whole thing. And
you didn't wear sunscreen.
And then just being thrown out in the daytime in summer, and you'd just be out all day, and there'd be no adult supervision, just hanging out with your mates. You'd have your bicycles, you'd be cycling here, cycling there. You'd have your little bike gangs. You'd be coming up with little plans, climbing things, and it was just delightful. Thank you, Mom.
Amazing.
And then you'd hear dinner. You'd get called to dinner, and then you could maybe go out and play for a little bit more.
Oh yeah. You were not allowed to stay home.
Oh no, actually, that's a thing. It actually felt very unnatural to stay at home and watch TV when it's sunny outside. It took me a long time to get over that feeling of feeling weird sitting inside.
You don't have a problem with that now, though.
No, I don't. No, God forgive me.
I was talking to grandfather, and there was an article in one of the newspapers. There was a great article.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Because in the 70s or something, he went to China, and it was a very unique place. I mean, it wasn't a usual place to go for Irish people at that time. The UCD soccer team went, and he was the president of the club. And they went
soccer, not rugby.
Football, yeah. Oh. And they went to China on a visit, and they were playing matches against Chinese teams.
Why are you talking like that?
But David, what's your problem? Do you really have to comment on everyone, and you're distracting people from a flow? You actually killed his flow. What do you say?
Sorry.
Good.
Sorry, Dan. Jack, go on.
So he went to China a long time ago, and then
why are you laughing, Daniel? 1976.
Yeah, and they played in front of UCD. They played in front of 40,000 fans against a provincial Chinese team. They lost 4-1, but they wore Irish jerseys. So the Chinese fans thought that it was the actual Irish team, but it was just UCD. And they said in the article they were very surprised at how big the Chinese players were and how good they were. So they were very good. And they were meant to play in front of 100,000 people in Shanghai. But during that trip, a fella known by the name of Mao Zedong, is that Mao Zedong?
Yeah.
Good fella.
Chairman Mao.
Not chairman Mao of a football team, but he was the chairman of the country, right? And he died when they were over there, and the game that they were going to play got postponed. And
typical.
And it was described. One of the people who were over there was describing how people were crying on benches, and there was a whole national mourning at the time.
Oh, definitely. So how long did they stay in China?
Oh, they were there for a couple of weeks, I think. But now a lot of the guys who went over there are going back over there, and there's a mutual kindred spiritness between the Irish and the Chinese
because of that experience.
And the Chinese were happy about how one of the people there he wrote a journal about it, and it got published. And he was writing about everyday life, and they liked the Chinese people liked how he wrote not non-judgmentally.
Yeah, not politically. I mean, isn't that beautiful? Circumventing the political bullshit and just people connecting to each other. It's fantastic. That's the way it always is anyway when you travel. You meet this person, that person, always very hospitable, friendly, got their culture, got their idiosyncrasies. It's wonderful. And I love hearing about that.
They said that there's a shared fondness for the drink, which really fostered a beautiful...
And also, during that time, 1976, I remember because Mother put a big map of China in the kitchen. And so we followed Dad's progress through China at that time, 1976. I was 10 years of age.
So where did he go? Where did he go?
I don't know all the towns he went to. But yeah, so Chairman Mao Zedong died during their trip. And so the place went into a big state of mourning. Yes, never been to China, Hannah, have you?
No, I haven't.
What's your favourite movie? What's your favourite movie? What's your favourite movie? I had that character. It was based on some guy. It's obviously an exaggeration. Hey, how you doing? How you doing, John? Dave? Yeah, how you doing? Yeah. Dave? Yeah. Yes. Dave? Yes, I'm here. What is it? What's your favourite movie? What? My favourite movie is Rambo. Yeah? Do you like Rambo, Dave? Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. That's my favourite movie. Anyway, yeah. So have we?
I think I know the guy here.
Yeah.
So who is the guy?
Well, we were just keeping it's Alcoholics Anonymous here. Thank you. Okay. So Jack, you had some idea today for the podcast to mix things up, shall we say, broadcasting live. Oh yeah, okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to And That's Why We're Not Together, starring David McSavage and Hannah Goodnight.
And my two young chickens, Chicken Daniel and Chicken Jack. There they are, clucking away in the farmhouse. Pecking.
I was pecking always.
Oh yeah, you peck. You're such a pecker.
Like, and that that is older generation that you just write with one finger. Oh, there's also the thing I have that you just slide through, so it looks better, but you still use one finger. Like new generation, they use 2 thumbs. What are you using? Are you using 2 thumbs, David? No.
I'm trying to do the cricket sound.
Cricket or?
Yeah. No, but it is funny when you see the younger generation and they're just like.
No, they're using 2 thumbs like this.
Okay.
Well, that's a marker of what generation you're from.
Yeah,
whether you use your index finger or whether you use your 2 thumbs.
This is Hannah. Hannah. Look.
But I have that app that you don't need to type; you just slide.
Oh, speaking, I was doing translate. Look, I do think this is amazing, guys. I'm sorry. Itchy nose. Translate.
Speaking of China,
go on. Translate. Look, here
now
we go.
You can even date Chinese person.
Hello, my name is David. I am from Dublin. I'd really like to meet a Chinese woman from China. Not that her being Chinese is the contributing factor, but I'd like to also experience your culture through your body. Thank you. Oh no, I've said it in French.
Oh no, let's hear in French. Oh la la.
Bonjour, je m'appelle David. Je viens de Dublin. J'aimerais vraiment rencontrer une femme chinoise de Chine. Non pas qu'elle soit chinoise.
Why is she speaking? Why is it not men's voice?
I don't know. How do I change it? How do I change that into French?
Chinese, David.
Oh yeah. Okay. Sorry. Oh yeah. Let me. That's right.
You have to say it again.
Yeah. No, I want to do it in Chinese Mandarin. Wait. Hello, my name is David. I would love to travel to China and meet a woman from Shanghai. And I don't know what a typical Shanghai name for a woman is, but whatever that would be, I would like to meet that person. I guess a common name for a woman in Ireland is Jenny. Thank you.
你好，我叫 David， 我很想去中国旅行，见一个来自上海的女人。我不知道一个女人的典型上海名字是什么，但不管是什么，我想见那个人。我猜爱尔兰女人的俗称是 Jenny， 谢谢你。
A lot of sounds like she. That's a little bit like Polish as well.
It's quite awesome though, isn't it? Like you can just travel around any country.
That's why nowadays you can go anywhere. I actually know people who go on a date with a translator.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, because you.
Oh
just
look, let's see,
language.
let's see Polish. Let's see. Okay. Hey Hannah, for God's sake, don't you understand about microphone technique? The mouth should be a certain distance from the microphone, but a lot of the times the microphone is pointed to the left, to the right. It doesn't seem to bother you, does to me, and I always notice it, and I look like an asshole for pointing it out. Thank you.
Hej kochanie, zapomniałem, że nie rozumiesz techniki mikrofonu. Usta powinny znajdować się w pewnej odległości od mikrofonu, ale wiele razy mikrofon jest jeden w lewo, w prawo. Nie wydaje mi się przeszkadzać ci. Robi to dla mnie i zawsze to zauważam i wyglądam jak dupek za wskazanie na to. Dziękuję.
What is that?
Jak dupek.
What did I say?
Asshole.
I said asshole. She said.
No, you said asshole, but
No.
she said. Yeah.
I look like an asshole. Yeah.
She said dupek, which is really gentle ways, equivalent of asshole.
Oh, look, Hindi. Look at this. This will be good. Yeah.
Yeah, you can
Just one thing.
all
Okay.
over the word. Not that
I'm
long.
looking forward to performing this Saturday in Donegal. I've been to Donegal many times, and the town I'm performing in is Letterkenny. Thank you.
मैं इस शनिवार को डोनेगल में प्रदर्शन करने के लिए उत्सुक हूँ.
Okay. Let's come on. Oh Christ Almighty! What are we doing, Daniel? Let's go. Stop messing around, Hannah. Let's go. The idea. Do you want to read some comments, or will we go straight into what we planned for?
Well, whatever you like.
Okay, Jack. Do you want to say what your idea was?
I just thought we could talk about some movies that films that interested us.
So
Hannah.
instantly, if I look back at all the movies I've seen...
Okay, first of all, this is a lie because we asked you before the podcast and you said, I haven't got a clue.
Yeah, I said because my head is a little bit empty for some reason. I'm not going to explain why, but I'm happy.
Medication time. No. Go on. No, I'm just joking. Okay, go on. Let's go.
And, but whenever I look back, and the movie would really like make an impact and it stays with you. So... You know, I then just the movie Brokeback Mountain just always comes into me, and
that's also the Bull Mix favorite film.
Was it? Okay, but I remember I saw it. I remember I saw it about 3 times, and each time I cried.
Yes,
because I think it's not only about being gay, but it's about love and this profound suppression.
Yes.
Of not being expressed or live openly. Either you're gay or maybe you're in love with someone else.
And also it's the perfect context for homosexuality. You know, those supposedly rugged, heterosexual, alpha males. There's something that works very well in that milieu. As regards homosexual, they're, how are you doing? And they're all talking like that. They're all stiff. You know what I mean? They're not like, camp.
Yeah,
the exact opposite of camp.
Yeah,
what's the word? What's the opposite of camp?
Not very manly, macho.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
very macho. Yeah. They wear cowboy hats, cowboy boots. They have this.
I wonder, did that add to the excitement when they got together? Like the thrill. The forbiddenness. The forbiddenness is a big thrilling thing as well.
I know, but at that
you
time,
think that?
I think they can't even speak. Like their language is very sparse because I think that represents the suppression of emotions they can't express, and they just bolt it. So
did you feel it was really not so much about the being gay, more to do with the love and the romantic thing? It could have been a man and a woman, or did
it's
no?
just the intensity of that feeling was so profound and deep that it didn't matter that they were gay, but obviously gay thing, it's very important. And
it did have a big impact at the time, didn't it?
Yeah, and it's still apparently considered about the best movie on gay love and
those guys, Jake
Gyllenhaal and Heath Ledger.
And they're not gay. Those guys.
No, and
why do you say like no?
No, because Heath Ledger, he's a big boy. He's almost like, you look at him and he's almost like rugby player. He doesn't have a mannerism. He doesn't have a high pitched voice.
Yeah.
So he's a big guy who's, and both of their characters are married. They have,
But no, I'm saying not in the film, obviously in the film, but I'm saying in real life. But I mean, that shows dedication to your craft. So yes, so that you bawling your eyes out watching that film.
Each time, I thought that they have the love scene in the middle of the mountains.
Where he's spitting into your man's bottom.
I thought it was so beautiful. I mean, if you say it like this, that's obviously it's almost pornographic. But the way they cared about it, say that the suppressed emotion, that sort of unexpressed love, and the way they have to hide.
Well, it's so I know what you mean.
On the background of the nature.
They loaded the bases in terms of defining what suppression is in terms of love or sexual desire. You cowboys, the time that it was set in the 50s or something.
60s.
The
I think
60s, the lack of acceptance around, and then the huge desire that they had for each other, and that they really had to suppress it. So it was really kind of like putting all those emotions through an amplifier. So it was very cleverly well done. But heartache, right? I guess you could say.
Yeah,
heartbreak.
It's just heartbroken. But like, you can't even tell anyone.
Yeah.
You can't even tell your mate or another mate because it's forbidden. And also Ennis, the character played by Heath Ledger, he witnessed a hate crime when he was growing up. So his dad brought him to see the guy who was who got killed.
A gay man.
A gay man.
Yeah.
So, he learned his lesson. He doesn't want to, he doesn't want to end up like this. He knows it's not allowed. He knows it's wrong in a society. In 2005, Ang Lee, he got 3 Oscars. He got the Oscar for Best Directing, but he lost to Crush for the best movie. But Crush is also a good movie.
Well, there you go, folks. If you have a chance, or if you've seen it, check it out again. It is. It's just a bit heartbreaking. It's very sad. I guess it's a good film to watch.
I just find it difficult to watch other men having sex. But this is, not just for the sake of, portraying it. It just shows the sensitivity.
Do you remember a particular scene that stands out to you?
Oh yeah. I remember Heath Ledger walking away from meeting Jack Gyllenhaal character, and so he's walking, he's pretending, and they splitting. But just I remember Heath Ledger walk. So he walks and he pretends that he doesn't care. So he walks, like a strong man who's not touched, and then he's out of his sight, and then he collapses.
Right.
Yeah. And he does it in such a way, he doesn't say anything, he doesn't cry. But it could be a woman.
Well, it's funny though. It just shows you the suggestion of things is so much more powerful than the thing itself. You know what I mean? Like, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Sex is portrayed generally kind of not great. Maybe it's better nowadays in films, but the suggestion or the potential of it is so much more powerful and exciting than looking at the fucking thing. Because in real life, you're not really gazing on people making out. It's not, Anyway, Jack, what's your film?
What's your film?
No, what's your film?
My film that I went to see. The film that I chose. I like it because I think it's very unique the way it's styled and everything. Is Wild at Heart by David Lynch from 1990. So a quick
Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, Nicolas Cage, Laura Dern. There's also Willem Dafoe is in it.
My favorite actor.
Is that the scene where he goes, "Hey," where he's flirting?
Yeah, he's like a super creepy.
Oh yeah. Where he goes up to Laura Dern and he was controlling her or something. I can't remember. There was a scene that Hannah loved. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, but basically why I like it is because it just, when I watched it for the first time, as the only time I only watched it once, it just feels very different to all the David Lynch in general, his movies just feel very different and kind of surreal and absurd. So, it's a movie it's a love story, a very kind of corny love story in a way. Like there's a lot of corny moments in it. But it's so odd and absurd that it feels very kind of self-aware. So there's a lot of funny moments. And one of my favorite moments in the film is the mother of Laura Dern's character. She's just, off the wall nuts.
Oh, but is she her mother in real life, by the way? I think she is, isn't she?
Diane Ladd. I'm not sure.
Oh, no.
Her name's Diane Ladd, so possibly.
No, sorry.
But so she's very opposed to the relationship between Nicolas Cage. Cage's character and Laura Dern's character. So
But aren't they a bit like Bonnie and Clyde?
Yeah.
They're, doing the robbery. I love. But what?
Oh yeah,
I
Bonnie
love
and
this.
Clyde. Yeah.
So it's like a road trip kind of movie. So Nicolas Cage, in self-defense, kills this guy, and then he has to run away from the law. So he's taking this one Laura Dern with him, and the mother is hiring criminals to try and get to them and get to Nicolas Cage and get her daughter back. And like within that, there's whole twists and turns, and she sends her husband out, and her husband is like this real, has his balls in her pocket, and she's kind of having an affair with one of the criminals, and she kind of in turn puts her husband in danger of one of the criminals. And she has this scene where she's looking at the mirror and she's putting on her lipstick, and as she's putting on her lipstick, she's just like in like complete anguish and agony, and then she starts putting the lipstick all over her face, and then it cuts to something else, and it cuts back, and she's like crying into the mirror, and the lipstick is just completely covering her face. But it really, like, the way that scene is brought to you, it just makes it feel like so like creepy and
it's
completely surreal and absurd,
but impossible.
Yeah,
that's like life.
But yeah, that's right. But possible, and that's what it has, a ring of honesty to it. And I remember exactly that scene. And I just checked. So that's Diane Ladd, and that is the mother of Laura Dern.
Yeah, it makes it very believable because they look very similar. And there's something about the kind of contrast of the movie, like what I was saying about it being corny, like this straightforward kind of love story where they run away from the evil mother and things like that. But then there's also that absurdity of those kind of scenes, which makes it really interesting to watch. And
Nicolas Cage's character?
Yeah, Nicolas Cage's character is just Nicolas Cage being Nicolas Cage, which is just brilliant. And there's a dancing scene at the start where they're in a nightclub, and I think he's singing and kind of performing, and he's just brilliant. It's just full on Nicolas Cage.
Hmm. Wasn't he doing flips when he before the interview with
Terry Wogan?
Yeah.
And Daniel?
Yeah. Well,
into the microphone, sir.
I guess I saw this movie a while ago with a friend. It's like a horror fantasy from 1997. It's called Wishmaster. I don't know. Have you ever seen it?
It sounds fucking great. I love it.
No.
It just has a very funny. It sounds Japanese.
Yeah. I think it's like a weird American movie. It's like an ancient hidden opal is found by Alexandra, a gemologist. Unknowingly, she releases an evil djinn from within who wishes to take over the world, but is restricted until his owner makes 3 wishes. So, like, yeah, and basically the opening scene is just chaos. Like, if you want to just watch the film for the opening scene,
oh yeah,
where like it's back in like ancient times when the djinn is like originally around or whatever, and there's just loads of creatures and monsters and just all. It's like bad CGI, or it's like,
And what makes you mention this? Because it was so much fun.
Well, it was just so ridiculous, but it was fun to watch, and it's like one of those movies that are so bad it's funny.
Right.
Yeah, it's just like if you just want to have a good time, or I don't know, if you're doing drugs.
Don't do drugs.
Yeah.
They're too expensive.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh yeah, but it's not because they're bad. Drugs are bad, and Kai.
No, they're too expensive.
Yeah, it's just like I think I saw a guy on social media talking about this movie, and he just said like he wants everyone to watch this film. Like, so yeah, I think his name is Daniel as well, and yeah, it's just a very funny movie, and this gemologist, like, unknown, she releases the djinn, and then just he takes the form of this like creepy guy, and like he follows the guy that needs to make the 3 wishes around all the time, and it's just it's very funny. Like, it's very cheesy.
Is it funny, and is it bad funny?
Yeah, it's like,
I wonder, did they make it that way, that they knew it was a bit corny, but the corniness would be entertaining?
Yeah, it's like 5.9 out of 10 IMDb, 26% Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay.
So I was just wondering, why does Daniel, the other Daniel, wants everybody to see it? Like,
Why does who?
you know, Daniel said
Oh, yeah.
there's the guy Daniel who says on.
But then
on
sometimes if you
web,
get
But why? Can I just finish? Why does he want people to see it?
Well, but as
Just
I said,
for educational? Or?
yeah, just because how ridiculous the movie is, especially the opening scene where there's just so much chaos going on and there's bad, like, it's not CGI, what do you call it? It's special effects, all the props.
in camera. But I know what you mean, Daniel. I think also, depending on your mood or where you are or whatever or who you're with, sometimes you can see a film and you're laughing off your chair, and then you say to other people, "Oh, you have to watch this film," and then going, "Huh?" So it's is it subjective? Is that the correct term?
Yeah.
It's like that movie Van Helsing, which is kind of, Van Helsing.
Yeah. It's just a great popcorn film.
Yeah, with Hugh Jackman and whatever. But that movie's kind of. It's great though.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
You know, like I was thinking, like he wants everybody to watch that movie. Like I think everybody in Ireland should watch First City, or whoever.
Why?
Whoever comes over to Ireland has to watch, let's say, 30 hours of First City.
Right.
Every immigrant.
Go on.
Just to learn, Irish culture.
Is that Irish culture?
I think so. It's very Irish.
Yeah.
What's your film, David?
Well, I was going to say something there about
Irish culture.
subjective, the subjectivity of films and so on. Oh yes, and a lot of you read critiques and it got this and it got a bad review, but you have to remember, like those sci-fi films that I love. I mean, they're not made for critics. They're made for kids, and kids don't go into something hoping to find flaws in it. They just want to just sit there and experience this movie ride that they're going to be taken on.
Did you see David Lynch's Dune?
Dune, yeah, I can't remember. I mean, I probably saw it, yeah, but it probably wasn't that as good as.
I don't know. I think because it's like it encapsulates the whole story within one movie, like
Oh, the whole thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I think I don't know. It's just like it had a more interesting feel about, like it had Patrick Stewart, Kyle MacLachlan, like.
Yeah.
Actually,
I should watch that then again. Yeah.
I don't know.
It's called June?
Yeah.
Dune, Dune.
It's like those movie that came out recently, but it's like it's like the David Lynch version.
Okay, well, my film that really I saw, I think I've read the book about 5 times, seen the film about 5 times, but then couldn't watch the film anymore because the ending was so sad. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, starring Jack Nicholson, 1975, and this film, I mean,
Nurse Rachel.
Oh yeah, well, I'll read the introduction. Randall McMurphy, this is One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Randall McMurphy, who has a criminal past, is sentenced by the court. To escape the prison, McMurphy forms a group of rebels who fight against the authority exercised by Nurse Ratched, the head nurse. So the film is set in a psychiatric unit. Now, he's been committed to there, but most of the other guys are willing participants in their own kind of. I mean, they check themselves in, and he finds
they're all crazy in that.
Yeah, but they can leave at any time. All the other.
I don't think so.
Oh boy. Okay. You know what I mean? Just take down a note and just question me at the end. Just don't fuck my head up.
Don't fuck me up.
And but look, I just want to say a few things. I just want to spit out a few things. That film, Daniel, for me represents life. Randall McMurphy is a force of nature. He's just comes in and he's got life and he's got this and he's fearless and he's living. And then he goes into this suppressed, damp place where everybody's compliant. And Nurse Ratched is an authority figure. She doesn't care whether these people get well. All she cares about is controlling them. And if people get out of line during that time, they would give you lobotomies. Now, to me, lobotomy is again a metaphor for just keeping you in line, keeping you in control, fear, compliance. Shit way to live your life. A lot of people do feel angry on a daily fucking basis, and they eat shit. They take a lot of insults their intelligence, and they hold it in. They never say anything. And in a way, that fucking lobotomy is a metaphor for what people have to suffer most of their lives, right? And then it was so well cast, and there was so many good little scenes within the film. And McMurphy comes in just like a wind from life, like a life wind. I'm talking, nobody's looking at me. It's so hurtful.
David, are you mental?
Yes.
I mean, you
Yes,
are
Nurse
literally
Ratched.
watching you on the camera.
Okay, sorry.
People are watching
Okay,
you.
no. Okay, look. I'm just saying, and Nurse Ratched was played. She won the Academy Award that year. I can't remember her name.
What's her name?
She was fucking brilliant.
Yes.
And then every single person who was cast in that film was brilliant. Okay, Billy Babbitt. He was the guy that connected most with, there was the Indian Brompton. Jesus Christ, lads.
Louise Fletcher. Nurse Ratched.
I just want to see the cast. The big Indian, right? Mm-hmm. He was brilliant. He's the kind of God, I'm not explaining. Everybody within the psychiatric unit represented a personality type within society. The big, strong, silent type doesn't say anything, pretending he's going along with the rules that Nurse Ratched is laying down, but secretly he's not dumb, he's not stupid, he's just biding his time, and he's really smart. And he's pretending that he can't talk. And there's a wonderful scene in the film when himself, the big Indian, and McMurphy are just about to get electric shock therapy, and it's quite an invasive, obviously, thing, you know. And he's sitting there, right, with the Indian, and they're in trouble. You know, kind of almost like, you know, when you were in school, you were the rebels, you know, you got into fucking trouble, and fuck you, principal, fuck you, head teacher, and, you know, and all the other guys. But, I mean, at least you'd stood up for yourself. You'd got your bit of integrity. So he's sitting there with the Indian, and everyone up until this point thinks the Indian can't speak. And so the Indian just kind of, you know, he opens up his chewing gum, and McMurphy's looking at him. And then he goes like this, look. The Indian goes, juicy fruit. You remember?
Now.
And then he looks at him like, God damn it, you fooled them, you motherfucker, you fooled those bad, they haven't got a fucking clue. And it was just, and immediately after that scene, the two of them are in to get the electric shock therapy.
And they broke.
So it's all about these guys who are full of life, full of potential, full of human fucking mess. You know, it doesn't fit into categories. It doesn't fit, you know. So they go for their electric shock therapy. And then, you know, the two of them, or McMurphy returns back to the ward, right? And, you know, they think Nurse Ratched has got the better of him. And he's beaten, he's defeated, he's been beaten down. And he walks back into the ward like this, look. And then they're all looking at him like that. And they're heartbroken because this force of nature. And then he goes, you fuckers, I got you. You thought I was fucked. But even at that moment, Nurse Ratched couldn't suppress a laugh. So there's all these just little scenes that are just, it's funny. Anyway, I'm not. I ain't no.
You're too excited.
No, I ain't no. Quentin Tarantino, all right? Then there's this other great scene, Billy. Whereby Randall B. McMurphy finds out that all the people within the ward are there by their own choice. He can't believe it because he's not there. He can't leave. And when he finds that out, he decides to leave. But then he built a very strong bond with Billy Babbitt, who played that brilliant character in Lord of the Rings, the sneaky, snaky guy. My lord, you know that guy, and then be gone, snake. Anyway, he's brilliant, that guy. Okay, so Billy Babbitt is sitting there in the ward, and he's got a stammer, right? and he don't leave, and then it transpires that he's never had sex, and so McMurphy arranges two girls to come into the psychiatric ward, and finally Billy has sex for the first time. And in the morning, they wake up, and they were supposed to clear the whole place before Nurse Ratched comes on the ward, but the place is fucked. They're all drunk, and Billy's had the night of his life. He's had sex, and there's this beautiful moment, where it's almost like it's like a whale surfacing out of the ocean, sunlight. He's not stuttering anymore because he's had sex. He feels like a man. It's the wonderful healing power of connecting with another human being. And he's talking like this. And then Ratched comes in and he says, "What?" She says, "Billy? Yeah? Billy? Yeah? What would your mother think about what you've just done?" And he's like this, like, and he's back to stammering, and he can't lose his control. It's so sad. He gets dragged away. Anyway. And then I don't even want to talk about the end of the film because I don't like it for that reason, and I haven't really watched it because it's too painful.
Spoilers.
Well, I'm not going to mention it, but I will say the end of the film. The music is brilliant. The Indian Bromden, I think his name is. God, I can't remember all the characters. These characters, Scanlon, and Danny DeVito is brilliant in it. Unbelievable film. It's funny. I haven't thought about it since Jack. This is a good thing, Jack. But that film is and 1975, by the way. I mean, Christ.
I actually feel.
Oh, sorry. Based on a book by Ken Kesey. The book obviously is much deeper and heavier, and much more descriptive. But my God, what a great screenplay! And you can tell it's just gone on and on and on and on. People are there. It's on.
But Brokeback Mountain is also based on a book, a really, really short story.
Oh, interesting.
By Annie Proulx, which is like really, really short. So you could be like 5 or 6 pages. You should be surprised at how you can build a movie on
Danny
that.
DeVito's Martini.
Yeah, Martini.
Will Sampson is Chief Bromden.
Yes.
Sidney Lassick is Charlie Cheswick.
Oh, fuck.
Brad Dourif.
Wait, just pause for a second. And also there's a great fucking scene in that thing where... was it? Yeah, it was McMurphy, and he takes them all out, and they go out in a boat.
Oh yeah.
And again, it's all these these just sort of attempts to get out of the whatever shit situation you're in that you're stuck in. That's why it's such a great metaphor for life. And they get out onto the sea, and they're like men, and they're fishing, and they're catching fish, and then they, sorry.
No.
Daniel, send me.
Yeah, Brad Dourif was Billy Babbage.
Yes, Brad who?
Dourif.
What a fucking actor.
Christopher Lloyd actually is Tabor.
Christopher Lloyd is Tabor, who was Doc in Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know the guy Doc, Back to the Future.
Okay.
Yeah, and brilliant.
Yeah.
I'm getting emotional.
But also,
William Redfield was Dale Harding.
Oh yeah, he's great. He talks about his wife and the problems he has with your wife. It's so funny.
There's Nurse Itsu.
Yeah.
Lan Fender. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
the only thing I want to say that what's the main character? A Jack Nicholson character. What's his name?
Randall P. McMurphy.
Randall. So he is, he's straight in the head, and all the other guys are not well. So
no, all the guys are well. They're fine. There's nothing wrong. I mean, yeah, they're all fucked up, but everybody's fucked up.
Yeah, but
just be outside and just deal with it and learn from it. You can't learn. You know the way you say you can't learn how to speak French by being inside a fucking classroom.
So why are they there in the?
Let me finish. So he takes them. So he's the real rebel, but he doesn't have the good quality rebellious other people. So because he take them out. And they can escape, but they will not.
That's right.
Why? Because they will not, because they know that they have to go back to the hospital.
Yeah, but they're controlled. They're willing participants in their own downfall.
Yes.
Yeah, like most people.
That is stark difference between the behavior of the other patients who are submissive towards
because
the
they've been in there
system.
for too long.
No, but also they got there because they not, because... Maybe they have a problem, but the system doesn't help them.
Right.
So they just
the system is called
downfall.
Okay.
And you know, the difference between the Randall, who is full of life, who wants to shake them, but he can't.
Right.
He tries, but they, you know, he does have a glimpse, but they stay as they are. They stay in the system.
Yeah, I know what you mean, and that was what was beautiful about it. But he is just like I say, a force of nature. So he's not, you know, like he doesn't have infrastructure. He's not like he can't sit down and plan. How am I going to get these guys? He's just reacting to what he's presented with in the moment. But I know what you mean. They get a glimpse of what their lives could be like, but they just get sucked back into the.
And also, they might be not even, you know, like. It is
into
actually more important for him to do it than for them to follow. Do you understand? Because they are on a completely different level of understanding life. So for him, it's a bigger thing to take them out. His mission is much bigger than their participation. Yeah,
it's so sad. Such a sad film.
Have you seen it, Daniel?
I don't think so. No, I don't think I've seen it.
No, I haven't seen it either.
Do you have a second film, Hannah?
Hang on, I wanted, because I haven't watched it. I just want to understand. So when you mean they're okay, that they're just like the not McMurphy, the rest of them, they haven't been committed there. They've checked themselves in. So they're feeling shit about something going on in their life,
right?
And they check themselves in, right?
Well, for instance, you know, like you would say, Billy Bibbitt's character is controlled by his mother, so he's deadly afraid to step out and just tell her to fuck off or whatever. And I don't know if I think they kind of check themselves in for a while, but you know, for what? Yeah. Actually, some of them.
If you check yourself in, you're stuck there.
But
you can't leave.
Oh no! I think, but it's a good question that Jack asked. I never even thought about it. I think some of them probably do they fucking like being in there
because they institutionalized.
Well, yeah, but some of them aren't in there. But maybe they go in for a few weeks and then they come back out. Or, but it's a good question. But there was but then there were some of them who were like seriously institutionalized. I mean, I'm talking about the core group of the cast, but on the outskirts, I can't remember the name of what they describe patients as. Does anybody know where they're terminally kind of fucked? Not terminally fucked, but
disabled.
Yeah, mentally incapacitated. There's a name for them, but anyway.
Well, you know, what you're talking about, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, reminded me of Rose Kennedy.
Oh, yeah?
Who was lobotomized, arranged by her father, you know, which today just seems completely, I mean, so messed up. And it was then an experimental brain surgery. But, you know, why was it done to her? You know, she had all these mood swings, impulsive behavior, difficulty keeping up academically. I mean, all her siblings, you know, were John F. Kennedy, Robert Kennedy, whatever, were, you know, high achievers and whatnot. And
what do they think she was? Her ailment was, looking back now.
Yeah, I don't know. Let me ask.
But it's such a brutal. Blunt instrument.
Well, my life is very much like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Go on, Daniel.
Yeah, because I mean, I was taken into a psychiatric ward against my will.
That's true.
How do you feel about it?
Well, you know, it's a weird experience. You know, when you're elated and
right.
You know, you think you're doing the right things, but you're completely out of it. And
what do you mean you're completely out of it?
Well, like you're not in control of yourself when you're elated. Like,
oh yeah, right.
And
wait, let me. It's interesting. Sorry.
And you know, like Randall P. Murphy. I mean, I wasn't in my right mind, but I was full of beans. You know,
right.
I was full of energy and everything. And
then he described Ken Kesey described the fog, and I think fog is kind of the medication that they gave.
Yeah, they gave me medication straight away to dampen, chill me out.
Yeah.
And, well, yeah, I mean, it took me ages to calm down while I was in there, but, I mean, you know, like, there was people in there who are, like, you know, the institutionalized that want to stay in there because Like there was an old lady that just lived there. She
I remember her.
yeah.
Can we say that? It doesn't matter. We can say the name.
Oh no, take the name out.
Yeah, I'll just bleep it.
Yeah.
But there was an old lady there, but that just lived there, like, you know, and she was like a live-in patient, you know.
And she was always calling for her husband, wasn't she?
I don't know, but
Nice lady, Jack.
yeah,
Daniel?
nice lady, yeah. But like, yeah, the you know, you see, there's crazy characters in there, like, you know, there's a guy walking around in circles, constantly walking, you know, in circles and circles and circles, and then there's some guy throwing his actual feces at the wall.
Jesus.
And like, you know, there was, I think we saw like a woman that was completely naked lying on the ground or something. And
we saw that. Right?
Yeah.
Wait, no, yeah.
And yeah, I think I had like what's that Indian guy's name? In One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Oh, the big.
Bromden.
Yeah, I think I had a Bromden friend of mine.
Yeah.
It was a big dude that was hanging out with me at the, you know.
And did you, were there times though that you did feel fellowship with the people there?
Yeah, I felt because like.
Fellowship, I don't know if that's
I
the
mean,
right
yeah,
word.
I felt.
Comradeship, friendship.
I
for
felt
Christ's
like
sake.
I could be truly myself.
Right.
With those people, because like they were in the same boat, you know, and we could just act as nuts as we wanted to be and say whatever we wanted to say, like, and do whatever we wanted to do, because, you know, it was like a little weird escape from the outside world, like,
right.
You know? And yeah, it's just like, yeah, it's like probably the only place you can truly be like your real self without,
And at that time in your life.
yeah. Like without someone
it is
calling you out.
It is funny though when Daniel describes it. Again, you know, we talk about freedom, but you know, anything outside certain modes of behavior, you know, it's like, let's call the guards, let's say we need to do something here, you know.
Yeah.
You know, but anyway, it was what, did you want to say anything?
No, I think we should. Yeah, no,
Okay.
it's difficult for Daniel. Well, if he wants to share what, how did he feel when he was taken against his will?
Well, I mean, it's very embarrassing. Obviously, like, it's like, you know, you never want to be in that situation.
Embarrassing.
Well, because like sometimes it's in front of people, like, you know, like, and you know, you're taken away by the guards into a guarded car. Like,
Oh yeah.
And then, like, you're taken to the station, and then they analyze you, see if you're sane or not, and then they get a doctor to talk to you, and then, you know, then they say, oh yeah, no, he needs to go to hospital. It's a psychiatric ward. Yeah, you know.
But a lot of times they would take you to the doctor, and the doctor say that you okay.
Yeah, because I was like, you know, doing mental gymnastics in order to make sure I wasn't put into hospital, like, you know, trying to be smarter than the doctor, like, you know, and sometimes it worked, but like, you know, that only lasts for so long until you actually do go off, like,